Mordant as noun, a substance used in dyeing to fix the dye onto the fabric and make it resistant to fading or washing. The chemist studied the properties of mordants. The mordant is used in the textile industry to dye fabrics. The artist used a mordant to etch the design onto the metal plate. The printer used a mordant to make the ink adhere to the paper. The archaeologist found evidence of ancient mordant use in the ruins.
Tribulation as noun, a state of great suffering, distress, or trouble, an experience that is difficult to bear or overcome. The family went through many tribulations during the war, including displacement and loss of property. The entrepreneur faced tribulations in starting her own business, including financial difficulties and competition. The family went through many tribulations during the war, including losing their home and being separated. The athlete's injury was a tribulation that kept them out of competition for months. The business faced many tribulations during the pandemic, including supply chain disruptions and a decline in demand. Savvy is noun, knowledge, know-how, or expertise, especially regarding a particular field or subject. Practical understanding, intelligence, or shrewdness, especially in relation to practical matters or common sense. His savvy in business made him a sought-after advisor. She demonstrated remarkable marketing savvy throughout her career. The politician's political savvy helped him navigate complex negotiations. Her tech savvy allowed her to troubleshoot most computer issues. His financial savvy was evident in the successful investments he made. Quip is noun, a clever or witty remark or comment, a sarcastic or humorous observation. Her quips were always witty and entertaining. He made a clever quip about the weather that made everyone laugh. The comedian's quips about politics were particularly hilarious. He was famous for his quips and one-liners. She responded to his insult with a clever quip that left him speechless.
Gumption as noun, courage, determination, and spirit, the quality of being bold and not easily discouraged. Initiative or resourcefulness, the ability to take action and solve problems independently. You need to have the gumption to stand up for yourself and speak your mind. She showed her gumption by starting her own business despite the challenges and risks involved. His gumption and perseverance paid off when he finally achieved his long-term goal. We need someone with the gumption to make tough decisions and take bold actions. The character in the novel had gumption and resourcefulness that allowed her to overcome adversity.
Aphorism as noun, a concise statement that expresses a general truth or principle. A short, pithy statement expressing a general truth or principle. He was known for his talent at crafting aphorisms that captured the essence of a situation in a few words. The Book of Aphorisms contains wise and witty sayings from various famous authors. The speech was filled with aphorisms and memorable quotes that left a lasting impression on the audience. He loved to write aphorisms and would often jot down his thoughts in a small notebook. The teacher encouraged her students to come up with their own aphorisms and share them with the class. Recapitulation as noun, a restatement of the details of a story or event, usually made at the end, in order to clarify or summarize what has happened. A summary or a restatement of the main points or ideas of a larger work or event. The book's final chapter provides a brief recapitulation of the main themes and ideas. The concert's encore was a recapitulation of the band's greatest hits. The professor's lecture included a recapitulation of the key points from the previous class. The CEO's presentation began with a recapitulation of the company's history and achievements. The artist's retrospective exhibition was a recapitulation of her career over the past decade.
Raillery as noun, good-natured teasing or mock humor, light-hearted and playful banter or joking. During the meeting, John couldn't resist a bit of raillery towards his colleague's new haircut. Despite the coach's best efforts to discourage it, the team members continued to engage in raillery and playful banter during practice. Sarah's quick wit and sharp tongue made her the queen of raillery among her friends. The comedian's routine was full of hilarious raillery aimed at various groups and individuals, but it was all in good fun. The group of friends often engaged in friendly raillery, poking fun at each other's quirks and habits.
Ploy as noun, a cunning or clever scheme or trick, especially one used for a deceptive purpose. A cunning plan or action designed to turn a situation to one's own advantage. The marketing team came up with a clever ploy to increase sales. The politician's ploy to gain votes backfired and cost him the election. The company's ploy to undercut their competitors led to a price war in the industry. The spy's ploy to steal classified information was foiled by security measures. The detective's ploy to catch the thief involved setting a trap.
Soporific as noun, a sleep-inducing agent such as a sedative or hypnotic, a substance or drug that induces sleep or drowsiness. She took a soporific to help her fall asleep. The doctor prescribed a soporific for his patient's insomnia. The soporific had a calming effect on her anxiety. The soporific was effective in treating his chronic pain. The use of soporifics in the treatment of mental illness is controversial. Canard as noun, a false or unfounded story or report, a type of duck typically having a long neck and bill. The article in the newspaper was based on a canard, with no sources to back up the claims made. The rumor that the company was going bankrupt was a canard spread by a competitor to hurt their reputation. The politician's claim that their opponent was involved in illegal activities was a canard without any evidence. The conspiracy theory about aliens invading the planet is a canard with no scientific evidence to support it. The story about the restaurant serving exotic meats turned out to be a canard when it was revealed to be a prank.
Avarice as noun, excessive or insatiable desire for wealth or material gain. Greed for money or possessions. His avarice for money was evident in the way he would do anything to earn a profit. The company's avarice led them to prioritize profits over ethical considerations. Avarice is often cited as one of the 7 deadly sins in Christian theology. The politician's avarice for power was evident in his willingness to betray his constituents. The avarice of the landlord was evident in the exorbitant rent prices he charged. Censure is noun, expression of strong disapproval or condemnation. Strong disapproval or criticism, especially by an official or governing body. The company's actions resulted in censure from industry regulators. The artist received censure from critics for their latest work. The journalist faced censure from their editor for publishing an inaccurate article. The athlete faced censure from their team for violating the league's code of conduct. The politician faced censure from his colleagues for his controversial remarks. Duress as noun, a situation in which someone is forced to act against their will. The use of force or coercion to compel someone to do something against their will. The victim testified that he had confessed under duress after being threatened by the police. The employee signed a contract under duress, fearing he would lose his job if he refused. The kidnapper was arrested and charged with holding his victims under duress. The judge ruled that the confession was obtained under duress and could not be used as evidence in the trial. The company was accused of subjecting its workers to duress to meet the production targets. Artifice as noun. A clever trick or skillful deception used to achieve one's goal. A cleverly devised or contrived scheme or device. The artist's work blended natural elements with artifice, creating a unique and intriguing aesthetic. The magician used various artifices to make his illusions seem more convincing. The novel's plot relied heavily on artifice rather than believable character development. The advertisement used all kinds of artifices to make their product seem more appealing. The company was accused of using artifice to manipulate their financial statements and deceive investors. Apostate is noun. A person who has abandoned or renounced a religious faith or belief. One who has deserted or abandoned a cause, belief, or principle. The religious community shunned him after learning he was an apostate who had renounced his faith. The group leader accused the dissenter of being an apostate and threatened to excommunicate him. The politician's opponents called him an apostate for changing his stance on a key issue. The writer was labeled an apostate by critics for deviating from the literary movement he had once championed. The athlete was deemed an apostate by fans for leaving his team and joining their rivals. Apprehension as noun. Fear or anxiety about something impending or expected. Concern. The act of seizing or taking hold of something. He felt a sense of apprehension as he walked down the dark alleyway. The apprehension on her face was visible as she waited for her test results. The defendant was filled with apprehension as the jury delivered the verdict. The apprehension of the suspect was a relief for the police department. The child's apprehension about starting a new school was understandable. Profligate as noun. A person who habitually spends more money than they earn and lives beyond their means, often wastefully or extravagantly. A person who is careless or reckless with resources or funds, often resulting in waste or squandering. He was a profligate, always spending money on expensive cars and luxury vacations. The profligates of society are often looked down upon by those who prioritize frugality and saving. The writer's depiction of the wealthy as profligates drew criticism from some readers. The politician's reputation as a profligate made it difficult for him to gain the trust of voters. Many people view the profligates of society as irresponsible and selfish. Aberration as noun. A departure from what is normal, usual, or expected, especially an unwelcome one. An abnormal condition or state. The company's financial loss this quarter was an aberration, as they had been performing well in previous quarters. The current market volatility is an aberration from the historical trend. His recent behavior was an aberration from his usual calm demeanor. The miscommunication between the departments was an aberration that led to costly delays. The sudden increase in crime in the small town was an aberration that left the residents shocked.
Cosset as noun. A pet or animal that is treated with great care and affection. An act of pampering or indulging someone excessively, treating them with great care and affection. The little lamb was a cosset, raised with care and affection by the farmer's daughter. The prince was a cosset, sheltered from the harsh realities of the world by his wealth and privilege. The heiress was a cosset, pampered by her staff and surrounded by luxury. The child actor was a cosset, given special treatment and attention on set. The pampered pet was a cosset, treated like a member of the family by its doting owners.
Ready to boost your English? Meet our vocabulary app, the fun and effective way to master the language. Books learn advanced words with examples and audio. Direct hit master idioms, proverbs, and phrasal verbs. Video game enjoy quizzes, flashcards, and pronunciation tests. Glow showing Europe, Africa translate into 100+ languages, all in one app. Did you learn new words? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my channel. Download now and start your journey to vocabulary mastery.